Hey folks, how's it going? So today we're going to be checking out a Tiberian Sun mod called the Second Tiberium War. It was released in 2013, but they recently had a patch to version 2.61, which has introduced some naval units and stuff to their mod, so we'll definitely be checking that out. But I'll be sure to link this mod DB page in the video description. Of course, Tiberian Sun is generally speaking abandonware, so a lot of these mods have it included free of charge. So this whole mod is standalone, you can download it for free, play it and all that good stuff from the mod DB page. But on here it also gives some information about the game. It basically includes a brand new single player campaign, which is pretty interesting. They've broken it out into chapters, which is a little bit different. Rather than choosing a GDI faction campaign than a Nod faction campaign, they actually have it set up so it's like chapter 1 has 5 missions, chapter 2 is 5 missions, chapter 3 is 5 missions, and then there's 2 more to come in future. But within those 5 missions it alternates, so it's usually like GDI then Nod, GDI then Nod, that kind of a thing. So it's pretty cool. Very nice. They've done a whole bunch of new art assets for this game, some of which look really nice. I'm quite a fan of them, so fair play to the creator. Evervaliant has also made, I believe he's made all of the skirmish maps used in this modification, so fair play to him. The quality of them is pretty great from what I've seen so far, so big shout out to him for putting all those together. In terms of the story, you can read all the background here, but essentially it's focused on the 2 hero units, Vega, aka Joseph Shepard, versus Kane, the Prophet, as you might expect. So it's pretty cool. They have, the basic backstory here. Brigadier General Mark James Shepard retired from the service as the world was now at peace. Years later, his grandson Joseph Shepard followed in his grandfather's footsteps, joined the military service at GDI to aid in the recovery of the new Tiberium inhabited Earth. So it's pretty cool. They do keep somewhat in line with the lore of the original Tiberian Sun, which is very nice. So big shout out to them for that. So any of the fans of the original lore series should be quite happy with the direction that this is going in. And of course, this is all made by Evervaliant, aka Ryan, so it's all the one dude. He's put a lot of work into this, so fair play to him. He seems quite humble in his efforts here, so I'm very happy to be checking out this modification and hope that some of you guys will go check it out after seeing this too. Version 2.5, so this stuff was released previously, chapter 1 and 2, infantry overhaul, power plant upgrade, lighting enhancements. Version 2.61 just came out last week, a couple days ago, so included in that is the chapter 3 campaign, the naval shipyards and fleets, and civilian boats, so we'll get to see some of this stuff today. And in the future, chapter 4, chapter 5, and some additional improvements are planned down the pipeline, so that's pretty cool. For those who haven't used ModDB before, once you go into the link, which will be in the video description, just go over the files here. You'll see version 2.61 released 23rd of September, so 3 days ago. Click in here and you'll have an option download now, and that's all you gotta do. Fairly straightforward. But once you have it downloaded, you'll be able to run the game, and this is essentially the opening screen for the game. It's pretty cool. Similar to a lot of Tiberian Sun mods, based what looks like on the DTA client. All the basic CNCnet features are there, so if you want to play it online, it should work. I haven't had the opportunity to try this or test this yet. From what I've seen, it's not overly active online, but I'm guessing that there might be peak hours of the day where it picks up. I tried to see if there was a active Discord channel or like a centralized location for this modification, so people can try and arrange games and stuff like that. I couldn't find anything in terms of Discord. They do have a YouTube channel, which you can check in the CNCnet section here. They seem to have a Facebook presence too, so that might be worth checking out for yourselves as well if you're interested. But there's definitely there's a few different ways, I guess, to try and get in touch with the community there, so that's cool. And again, I'll be sure to link some of those in the description below. But what we're going to be checking out is some of the single player and some of the multiplayer, just to give an overview of what's actually in this thing. As previously mentioned, the campaign is broken up into chapters, as you can see here, quite neatly laid out. Each chapter has an opening cinematic. The cinematics, from what I've seen, are like rendered in-game kind of action sequences, which is kind of cool. So we'll check those out. We'll probably just stick to like the chapter 1 stuff, not to show off too much. Possibly some of the chapter 3 stuff since it's brand new, but we'll see. And then we'll likely hop into one Nod mission, maybe one GDI mission, see how that looks. Kind of have a look at what the single player style is like, because different people different modders tend to follow different strategies for it, and I've seen quite a variation in terms of that, so it'll be good to show that off. And then of course I will probably start with just doing some basic skirmishes against GDI versus Nod, the Nod versus GDI, just to kind of see what the factions actually look like, what units are slightly different, what the super weapons are like, and all that good stuff. And as mentioned before, all the maps in here seem to be made by the mod creator Ever Valiant, so big props to him. There's quite a diversity of maps. I did like to see the return to Arrakis map in here. I'm a big Dune fan, so it's very cool to see. But yeah, there's definitely a nice stylish aesthetic to these maps, so big shout out to him for putting these all together. They do seem like at a glance quite competitive, reasonably competitively balanced, where it's kind of not completely symmetrical, but like you can see that there's an even balance of tip spread, there's good usage of cliffs, different heights being used. There's obviously rivers included, and with his new naval units, that's going to be even more of a factor. So I'll be trying to see if I can test these factions out on maps that will enable us to have a look at the naval factions, see if they're any good, and that is indeed the plan. Ooh, that's kind of nice, Atlantis. But yeah, you can see here, nice aesthetic. There's some green tib, some blue tib. As we saw, there was the red and orange tib being used in that Dune specific map. But for the most part, it seems to focus primarily on the green and blue, as you would expect from a Tiberian Sun mod. So I guess we'll pop into one of these. This Shoreline map seems to have a good bit of water quite close to your base, and there's no cliffs or anything, just in case that's a problem for placing shipyards. So we'll try this one first. I'll go as the gold GDI against some red Nod just to show off the basic colors, then we might switch it up a bit and the next one. Bunch of cool defaults and custom settings in here for the lobby. So core short game, redeployable MCV, create silos, destroyable bridges, all these are all kind of basic things, but stuff like immune harvesters is not something I see in a lot of mods. Interesting idea to try and prevent people from sniping your economy. It's kind of cool. Then of course they have this special section where you can actually disable certain tiers of weapons, so lesser weapons, which is like drop pods, Tiberium eruption, or ultimate weapons, which is like your ion cannon and nukes. And then they have this roster option, which lets you kind of turn on and off certain special structures and units, hero characters, so GDI gets Vega, Nod gets Katana, sensor vehicles here, so by default the game seems to enable you to build the sensor array as a static structure, rather than have it as something that you need to take out of the war factory, but this seems to be allowing you to put it back that way if you want. And then carry-alls are disabled by default. So I'm just going to play with the default settings here. The only thing I've really changed is the game speed. I've cranked it up to fast because I usually do it a little bit faster. Beginning forces +5 is no harm. Give us a few units to start out, scout the map a bit, see what's going on. And yeah, I guess let's pop in here and see if this works. Worth noting that one thing I had to change just for video capture purposes was the default renderer. Rather than use the original, I had to switch it to one of the TD draw ones, just so that the video capture was all good. I tend to play it on 1280 by 720 just because it's more zoomed in and you can check out the models and stuff better. But yeah, here we go. So turbine plant, there's slightly different naming for some of these structures. They don't have disc throwers. GDI have grenadiers, so that's pretty cool. You can see the basic Titan there. We also have this unit, which is new, Badger. So it's kind of like a little mini APC, holds 2 units, has a small minigun cannon on it. I have no idea what to expect from the difficulty of this AI, so I'm just going to crank out a few infantry and see how it goes. We've got our refineries set up here. What else? War factory. Interesting harvester model. I think that's slightly different as well. Of course, you got some tib back here. Very cool. Oh, nice. Some blue tib. Are we on the right side? Yeah, okay, so we're on the right side. So this is around the middle of the map, I want to say. And now we've got a couple of vehicles we can build. So Titan, very straightforward. Repair bot's a bit different. Might get one of those. A couple of hover MLRSs. Not locked behind radar tech or anything, just getting them straight out the gate. Looks like the AI is going straight for the blue tube. Should probably follow suit and get myself a second ref before I'm totally broke. Might actually cancel these before I get my eco up and running. We can see here. Oh wow, Nod players not messing around. Pretty cool. So, you know, it's got the good tips on feel to it. Got Titans, you got your infantry. It's pretty cool, pretty cool. I go for a third ref, although my power is not great. We're okay. I'll go low power on this and then get a second power plant. Turbine plant, as they call it. From what I have seen, I believe similar to the base game where you can put like the little power up reactors in these, they have a special late tier upgrade that you can put on your power plants. So that's kind of cool. I don't actually need the 3 refs, so I'll sell 1, just keep the harvester. Power plant, Vulcan turret, we'll get one of those down, see how it looks. And then we'll get back on these units. So the radar gave us access to jump jet tech. So there's the Vulcan turret. It's pretty nice. Some cool projectiles from the hovers there you saw. We'll of course get to see the names of all these various Nod vehicles and stuff, but you can see that there's some new, some definitely a lot of new models here. Sneaky hiding the artillery back there as well. So there's a shipyard, here's the signature array. I guess we got one of those because they seem to have some stealth cloak units. And as you see, it's a 1x2 section, and here it is, as you might expect. Now, the next items I guess that are worth looking at here is the drop pod node. So you can actually attach this to your radar. So this is like their lesser super weapon type tech. This will enable you to do a drop pod, of course. From what I've seen, the drop pods tend to have a drop of 4 infantry units that are all at max veterancy. We'll get a missile tower, again, just to show off all these different structures. Guess we'll get a couple of jump jets as well, huh? It's quite like the model for this, pretty cool. What else we want? Armament facility. So in order to unlock special high tier tech units for GDI, you see the structure. This will enable you to build mammoths, and I believe your hero unit. Which in GDI's case is Vega. So here you can see Vega, the mammoth tank. Of course, we'll try to get. Well, we'll at least get the mammoth up first. That seemed to be Nod's little tier 1 super weapon damage. Then of course, Ion Research Center is the other side of it. So here's the mammoth tank. If you force fire the ground, he'll just do the MLRS style rockets by default. But I believe if he hits structure, or if he hits tanks or structures, he'll go with the more traditional cannons. I bet run out of tip here. Jump jets I expect to work similar to before. Yeah, quite fast actually. It's pretty cool. Spin move, very nice. Here's Vega. Damn. That's a cool effect. It's kind of like the Ghost Stalker, but with a nice little explosion at the end. He has C4 as well, so you can see you can blow up their structures. Nod structures here looking pretty nice, especially that obelisk. Damn. And this looks like their hero unit, possibly coming out to try to take me on. There's our iron structure. As you can see here, that's actually unlocked a couple of things. It gives me the ion cannon, but I believe it's also required to get access to instructors. So the aesthetic's pretty nice. Some cool laser effects and like the blue lighting explosions for these units. It's actually really cool looking. Big fan of that aesthetic. Here's a destructor coming out. Can I build a medic? I can. I do like that they have the engineer medic with their own little like small symbol in the key here, so you can easily tell their functionality. I need to take out this artillery before he kills all my stuff. Reactor upgrade, we can shove that off, and then we'll try and get some of the naval units up. As a reminder, it's 2.61 just dropped. I'm not sure how fully completed they consider the naval stuff, and I haven't actually seen any of it yet. So I'm very curious to check it out. Where is it? Shipyard. There's a little repair drone doing the rounds. So we want to kind of camp this middle tube.
Yes, sir. You got it. Yes.
Nice. So shipyards. It's a pretty nice model too. You can set it as primary if you want. And here are the units. So we got a skiff, a hammerhead, and a triton. I'm guessing the skiff is tier 1, hammerhead tier 2, possibly, and triton tier 3. So here's a skiff. So a skiff, little machine gun. It's pretty cool. Here's the hammerhead. So it's more of a cannon type vessel. Can it shoot on land? Not sure if it can. Looks like I can shoot on land, just about. Not a huge amount, but enough for it to count. And then here is the Triton, which looks like their tier 3 one. Kind of like a destroyer with a cannon that I'm guessing can shoot in land pretty far. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So we can get a couple of these. Not sure if the enemy AI will actually have been programmed to use these naval units, but we'll find out soon enough. In the meantime, we should keep building our units here. What do we go for? A couple more mammoth tanks, a couple of these ghost units. Not quite sure the purpose of these ghost units. They're quite cheap and they don't seem to have like a default stealth cloak. They seem to have like reasonably long range, but they only shoot a minigunner, so it's kind of like a commando type unit. But yeah, it looks like here the AI hasn't actually gone out and built naval, but again, as navy has just been added to the roster. As the naval's only just been added to the roster, I expect they might work on the AI to start implementing it in skirmishes in future. Again, that's just speculation on my end, but that tends to be how the priority for this stuff goes. And it looks like they used their nuke here, which decimated half of my base. I mean, that's likely not very nicely balanced, to say the least, but I think that tends to be the case with a lot of these tips on mods. And if you're playing it in an online setting, you would usually try and play with that stuff off. Or else whoever manages to rush to it first tends to just kind of insta win. Let's try our drop pod here. It's pretty cool, so you can see we got 4 units there, didn't do much damage, but got good vision. Drops 4 units, max veterancy, so I think it was 3 minigunners and a grenadier. So that was pretty cool. We're back up and running now with our war factory. We can of course set the rally point. We need to get our Vulcan turrets here, so we can deal with this harassment. Oh, he's gonna nuke this. No! Nice little bit of blue tube up here. That's kind of cool. Okay, we back up and running. So there's their Temple of Nod. These guys are going to tear it to shreds by the looks of things. Hell yeah. That's pretty cool. I think the boats are an interesting addition. The models look, I think they sort of fit. They look a bit high contrast at a glance, but overall, like, it fits the general aesthetic of what's going on in the mod here. So I would say they're doing a pretty good job. Get our dudes over here. Anything else we're missing? The nuke, or the ion cannon. So we'll see how strong it is. I'll try to use it on their conyard. It'll probably wipe it out, but let's go. Okay, didn't fully take out the conyard. Wanted the half health. I know it does take out a war factory in one shot, so interesting health differential there. Dun, dun. Again, we'll get the reactor upgrade going. I really like the aesthetic of the reactor upgrade with like the floating turbines it has. You should probably get another ref put it in front. Like this kind of aesthetic, it's really nice. And we'll get a ref up front. A drop pod. So we'll put it here right in front of this artillery. We'll have it try to take it out. AI has built a lot of air units, which thankfully the mammoths here are actually going to be able to deal with. If I didn't have those, I might be in a lot of trouble, but I think we're okay. Look at this! Cheeky this guy. So I want to come back a little bit, huh? And not keep going so far forward unless you're going to attack. There we go. So one of these, I'll probably tell one of these halves to go back to this too. Tip regrowth seems to be working pretty well. This is worth pointing out too. Guess a few disruptors seems good. Again, carryalls are disabled by default, but you can re-enable them. So if you want to, I guess, do the classic disruptor carryall drop that has plagued the Tim Sun online scene for quite a while, you can potentially go and do that. Repair drone, again, nice aesthetic, shooting the blue laser to repair the harvester. It's pretty nice. If I stick these, yeah, if I stick these on guard mode, they don't auto attack the structures, which I guess is to be expected. It's the same if they're doing it against other players. Looks like they've given Nod some hover tanks. It's an interesting idea. Hover tanks traditionally only belong to GDI, I believe, for the hover MLRSs. So it's cool to see them give that to Nod. It might be a balance consideration in terms of trying to deal with the, like we just saw there, trying to deal with the situation where GDI is on the shoreline and you have to deal with them, but they're out of your reach of like the direct shore with these, what are they called? Triton units? But I do like, I very much like the aesthetic they have here. It's super cool. Maybe I can get all their power. Well, maybe I can get the Konya, right? A little bit unfair, but whatever. It's only the AI. I don't feel so bad when it's the AI, right? And you can see that these are all promoted now, so the veterancy system seems to be working and making these extremely powerful. Damn, son. That's pretty cool to see. Again, map's quite nice. It's got a couple of features to it. Like it's not got a huge amount going on, but I think it's nice in terms of just a basic 1v1 map. I assume that was the intention. I'll give you a nice bit of blue tib in the middle to kind of contest and fight over. One thing we haven't checked out is the air units, so I'll be sure to get a few of those out now. Yeah, we can get an Orca fighter, so your standard fighter unit. You can get an Orca transport and a Phoenix. Phoenix is like their Orca bomber equivalent. The thing I noticed is a bit different is that their Orca fighters here only have one shot. You can see it fires like a volley of 3 or 4 different missiles, then it turns back to reload. Here we have a Phoenix, so this is more the bomber style. We'll send him in here, see if we can get out this artillery. Not quite, almost. Then he's going to rush back to recover. Get a few of these, and then our Orca transport. I wouldn't expect anything particularly unusual out of this. Iron cannon ready. We'll take out their missile silo. Maybe it'll splash damage onto the artillery. Nice. That feels pretty satisfying to use, not gonna lie. So what do we want to put in this? Still a Vega on the field somewhere. He's out there, out and about. Let's see if we can load up a few grenadiers on this and bring it around the back of his base. Just to show it in action. Alright.
Where is our destination?
Noticing actually the Nod player hasn't really built any anti-air. Like the AI hasn't. Ah, there it is. Oh, it's stealth. Okay. Or maybe they just happen to have like a cloaked unit around or something. It's dead. No. Man, these are really powerful. It's pretty satisfying. because they can't quite hit that power. So in that case, get a few more phoenixes. At this stage, we probably have seen enough, right? We've seen the boats, we've seen the air, we've seen the tech units, we've seen Vega a little bit. Here he is anyway.
On the move. Take that position.
We'll see how he does against these guys. So he's got a similar projectile to those boats, funnily enough. Yeah, let's see how the boys do if we just charge him in. Try not get Vega totally killed. Nice. Paradron doing his thing. Disruptor is looking very powerful as usual. We'll have Vega come in here and deliver the final blow. Oh, not the final blow. It's interesting. These cloaked SAM sites are a little problematic.
Finest in the fleet.
I wonder if they have like a cloak generator or something? Not really sure. There we go. Whatever was left, I got it. Huh, interesting. Whatever that cloak thing is, it doesn't seem to require power, which seems a little bit suspicious. But yeah, that's the GDI faction. So kind of interesting. It's very true to the original, but you can see that they've made some additions that are some nice touches. Nothing that like drastically stands out as totally inappropriate for the faction. Let's try a different map now. I want to again try find one with a reason. Navy. Will Navy work on this? Because they're more inland. Mirage looks like it might work so long as you can actually build down here, because then you'll be able to shoot up the cliff. Or else you'll go along here. Yeah, let's try Mirage. See if this works. We'll go with some different colors now just to mix it up. We'll go with cobalt blue against GDI. Well, indigo will be a bit hard to see. Yeah, Lotus. Sure. Atmosphere, we can give it a different atmosphere. Midnight might be nice. See how the lighting effects look. Yeah. And this time as Nod. Let's go. Again, the splash art stuff is very nice. I like the aesthetic they have going for it. Big fan of hexagons. Da-da-da. Come on.
Infantry reporting. Infantry reporting. Sir, got it.
So again, a couple of starting units. Fusion plant. So we have a Raptor tank. So this seems to be the hover tank that Nod gets. And then you got the standard, well, Dragoon, which is their rocket man. Dragoon's a pretty cool name for it. I can get behind that. So you can see there on the right hand tab the different infantry we can construct. So initiates are like your minigunner equivalent. Those light posts are huge. What the hell? I guess because of the time of day it enables you to be able to build them. So I don't remember seeing it last time. But that's pretty cool. Being able to experiment a little bit with the lighting effects. You can see like a nice glow on the units too. So if I do this, yeah, that's kind of cool. Pulse cannon, radar, war factory. We'll likely get all of this, but just get the key structures first. These those lamps are really big models. Not gonna lie, it's a bit weird. And I can see like it's instead of like the standard mini lamp, it's like 4 larger lights that are shining downwards. So Raptor tank. You can see they give some indication of the damage type here. Viper, a couple of artillery I think are good. A couple of Raptor tanks, a couple of these, and we'll get an extra one. So far so good. Interesting, slightly different model for the artillery it looks like. But it still looks quite nice. We'll try to do a few fusion plants to crawl a little bit up here and get a ref closer to this too. Set a rally point over here. Nice. The midnight time of day is actually going to be quite good for seeing the laser effects. So that's pretty cool. So here's the Viper, which does a laser attack. So you'd expect these to be kind of like recon bikes, but they actually fire lasers. That's likely why they put it in the legend here, so you're able to tell. Smart of them. I mean, very intuitive. I was expecting it to be lasers in the first place, so props to them for correctly using the UI to show it off. Anti-air, I guess a couple of Dragoons. Not sure if these can shoot up. Guess not, because he's attacking them here. Huh? So yeah, third ref up here. Alright. Radar is usually what's next. You can build landmines, that's kind of cool. Get radar. Interesting. So because you've got veins on a map like this, the floating units are quite useful to have. Like if this is covering key sections of the map, having hover units is very useful. Okay. That has unlocked the ability to build cyborgs, so it's locked behind radar tech. Alright. Landmine, I built one of these, just curious to see how it looks. Yep, very standard, makes sense. Obelisk of Light, I'll put one at the choke point here. Could use a couple more artillery. Disruptor is pretty beefy there, but we were able to take it down just a bit. There's our obelisk. Dragoon set up. What is this? Well, we got whatever it was. Stealth generator hub. Shipyard. Temple Nod. Not really seeing a valid anti-air option for Nod. That's not that's not infantry, which is interesting because they switched the Viper to a shock only. It doesn't shoot up. Radar doesn't shoot up. Maybe it's something that's to be unlocked later down the line. We'll go for a stealth generator hub next. Give us some stealth.
Construction complete. New construction option.
That has unlocked our ability to build our hero unit and stealth tank. So katana, stealth tank, an emitter pylon. I think this is what's needed. I can hear him shooting. Oh, he's up here. Okay, that's fine. An emitter pylon, I think maybe. So that's how they handle stealth. Okay, that's really cool. So you need to have the basic stealth generator hub, and then you can build these little mini pylons that actually hide specific sections of your base. Okay, that's cool. That's really cool. Different. I wonder then if this blows up if all these become visible, although I guess not, because I did that to the opponent on the last map, but they still stayed cloaked. The Tiberian facility, and that's going to give us the Tiberian eruption. So this is like your lesser super weapon. And then our Temple of Nod, but I'll need to get some power first. Do they have access to SAM sites? Pulse cannon?
Construction complete. Cannot deploy.
Maybe pulse cannon will do it?
Construction
Can only have one base lamp. Just hoping to maybe build a second one up here. That's alright. Yeah, this does seem to be shooting upwards, so that's cool. Here's our katana ball. Girl. She does these little single blast attacks. Doesn't seem to have C4 by default. Oh, and she's dead. They really did not want me to have her. Holy crap. It's an interesting use of their iron cannon. Kill the hero unit. It makes sense, I guess. More than likely just a hangover from the campaign. Than something deliberate. Also not quite sure how they've seen it, if she's meant to be cloaked by default. I'm assuming she's cloaked by default because her model is quite small. Send some rocketmen up this way. A couple of stealth tanks. Stealth tanks should have anti-air on them, I would imagine. Here's a nuclear bomb, and I also unlock these two units. Tactician. So the tactician is like a sniper, but he does get C4, slightly cheaper. So it's an interesting balance difference between GDI and Nod. And then a Terror flame tank. Hell yeah. Sounds good. Nice glow action going on the Temple of Nod here, actually. That's really cool. Big fan of that. Eco, where you at, son? So here's our stuff. Can they shoot air? They can't. Huh. That's interesting. Let's try this Tiberian eruption on their map. Pretty cool. So it sends off little kind of set of explosions, and then the Tiberium will spread across. Does some extra damage. That's nice. Here's the Terror flame tank. Maybe don't kill our only hero unit. Do you like the lighting effects that they have going here? It's pretty cool. I don't think they have access to a medic. Oh, crap. Nod problems, right? More artillery. I'll see. I'm not quite sold on the idea if I can build a shipyard back here, but maybe. Cyborg's actually much bigger than I might have expected. This guy is setting off all of this. It's going to cause inadvertent problems. So the artillery back here. Here we have the tactician earning his keep, working as a nice sniper unit. And a shipyard, because I don't have vision down here. Could I get vision here? Could build some of the raptor tanks, see if I can get down here somehow. I have a feeling though that this map may not have necessarily been built with the intention of being able to use it. Being able to get down here. Maybe I can try poking off vision. Here? Oh, just about. Okay, okay. Oh, well, that's annoying. Striker, Cyclone, and Nemesis. Could you guys please stop shooting that? Okay, so it looks like the Striker here has anti-air capabilities.
Consider it gone.
Also can shoot land. It's pretty cool. So that was the Striker. Here's our Cyclone. That's cool. Some nice pew pew lasers.
Where are they hiding? Rip their hold to shreds.
Is it time? All is well.
Where are they?
You can't shoot over the cliffs. Interesting. Okay, okay. So they're not going to be super effective here. We're still getting to see what they do though, so that's nice. Helipad next. Have a look at some of the air units. Here's the Nemesis. Ooh, that was my war factory. But I can still build raptor tanks. They probably come out here, right? That's cool. So as a fallback, they can build the raptor tanks out in the naval yard. That's kind of cool. So here the Nemesis is able to shoot its missiles up, do some heckin' serious damage. Damn, that's pretty nice. So we'll use the Tiberium eruption on the Conyard and this guy. Anytime I'll rebuild this. Harpy and a Banshee seem to be our 2 air units. We'll build a bunch of Raiders and a bunch more Vipers. Seems good. So this is hella effective. Are we gonna get it? We might get it. The hover MLRS here has got crazy range, but I've gotten his Conyard. So that's pretty cool. I just want to try to stay out of his range, but still be able to attack. I feel that this is longer range than this. It's just a matter of where he's positioned when he fires. There we go. Nice. So yeah, here's the Harpy. Does the Harpy not have any... Is the Harpy just able to shoot indefinitely? Oh, interesting. So the Orca, the GDI get only has 1 shot. And it fires like a volley of missiles, whereas Nod get the Harpy here, but the Harpy seems to have infinite ammo. Seems a little OP. And the Banshee, of course, here having 2 shots instead of 1. Usually they have only 1. It's able to get enough damage done there to take out a hover MLRS. That's pretty cool. How's our force here doing? I really like the what do they call it, the Vipers? The aesthetic of those lasers is really nice. It's good luck. Not so much being effective against the ground defenses. They're getting absolutely obliterated. I guess there need more Raiders. Oof, the volley of Grens coming in here doing serious damage. It's cool to see. Yoink, nice little money crate.
The emissary of Cain, let us begin. Unit ready.
This has been pretty cool. Nice to see. Nuke I have access to, so I'll try it on the War Factory, which I expected to take out, and maybe it'll take out some of this other stuff. Although he's getting the Conyard back here, so if I position it on the Conyard, it will be a better indicator of how much damage it does.
Unit ready.
Pretty cool aesthetic, so it's about the same as the Ion Cannon.
Time grows short.
I can see he's shooting more often now that he's at the maximum veterancy. Pull this guy back. Just get 1 more shot off, might get the Conyard. Is he gonna get it? Yeah, he gets it. Just in time for the second one to come off. Crazy. Yeah, the Nod units, of course, is always being super fast. Like I mentioned before, I'm a little worried about their mobile anti-air solutions. Like, they have Rocket Man, but that seems to be about it. Which is quite interesting, because traditionally, like, GDI is the one on the backhand with the anti-air, but if their hover MLRS can shoot air, they're in a much more advantageous position. Should probably just take it to War Factory now. What am I going to go for? How am I going to finish this off? I guess a couple more of these Nemesis, because they're doing a pretty good job. They're just absolutely destroying them. So Naval definitely seems to be a way to go on this. Not quite sure about the Nod land units. Like, they seem good as usual for Nod to be quick hit and run vehicles, but I'm not quite sure in terms of dealing with air, in terms of dealing heavy damage against actual structures. I guess the artillery I should be using more in an offensive capacity, that would do it. Those long range shots will do some serious damage, that'll be tricky to deal with. see here, these guys are doing okay, but they're not doing like heavy damage, even with the promoted guy in here to take out a Titan. So I wonder, this is a little bit scary. These guys have just managed to waltz straight through. One thing I will say is the naval yard is sharing a construction queue with the war factory, but I think that's just the generic engine limitation of Tib Sun. I think I've seen it in similar mods. There's not really a huge amount that can be done about that. I guess what I'll do is I'll build a bunch of artillery now, and like just line these up in the middle island and try to shoot his base to pieces from the sea and from the land. Oof. That's a little bit rough. How does he get in this back? What? He has no war factory. What's this?
Let us begin. Of course.
I call hacks on this. Oh, he's got a war factory in the back. I'm an idiot. Never mind, I see it.
Emissary K. Unit lost. Unit lost.
There we go. Alright, now we should be in the winning position. Cool.
Unit ready. I'm taking position. Unit ready. Base under attack.
Has my special stuck in Tiberian eruption.
Unit ready. Influence spreads. I'm all ears. Unit lost.
Set these up here, get the harp. Got a disruptor up here, what? Kidding me? If that's inconvenient. Took out my war factory with his special again.
Building time grows short.
Give me an order.
It's I don't know, it's interesting seeing the difference between GDI and Nod. I'd have to play it a bit more, but it does feel like, just generally speaking, GDI are gonna have a slightly better time or easier time in matchups, just because of how little damage Nod's vehicles seem to do against the armor of GDI's structures and units. Am I missing any structures? I guess laser fence I haven't really put down. But as you might expect, these should be fairly standard structures. Nothing overly special about them.
Time grows short. Time grows short.
No! You've discovered my one weakness. Air.
Construction complete.
Racks is down. The second one, as you can see, builds a standard fence. It's pretty nice, pretty nice. Laser turret I haven't built. Nuclear bomb, I'll set that off here. It's pretty satisfying. Can't deny that. Nice, now with the lighting effect gone off. These jump jets aren't doing a lot of damage to these high tier units for Nod, but there's your standard laser turret, a smaller one.
The emissary of Cain. Our influence breaks under.
Yes, this is their last structure, right?
Construction complete.
Do wish the AI had implemented some kind of sellout if lost all production buildings. There it is. GG's. Interesting. So that was a look from the Nod perspective. I think there's a lot of interesting variations between the two, especially with the hero units. The fact that Nod's hero unit doesn't necessarily have C4, but they compensate it for their secondary sniper type unit having it. I think having the hover laser type tank is pretty cool. Very different. Wouldn't necessarily have expected that from Nod. Definitely not something I saw coming, so very, very cool. I guess next what we'll have a look at is the campaign. I'll probably do just some basic stuff, so we'll check out I don't want to spoil later on into the campaign, so I might just watch the opening cinematic and then maybe have a look at mission 1, possibly mission 2 to see it from a Nod perspective and GDI perspective, and then wrap things up there. But yeah, one thing I did notice, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to set this beforehand. Don't think so. The game speed I generally, as you know, played a little bit faster, but by default last time I opened up the cinematic it was very slow, so just keep that in mind when we're watching through it. So chapter 1, Cinematic: The Tragedy. Years ago, a tragedy befell a young GDI lieutenant by the name of Joseph Shepard, which began a chain of events leading up to the present day. So yeah, let's check it out. The sun rises upon a new generation as the scars of the past fade into the pages of history.
Establishing battlefield control. Stand by. Reinforcements have arrived.
Welcome back, Joseph. Did you find what you were looking for? The writings on the walls tell of an artifact that held the ancient knowledge of their people. This is most fascinating. Come, we can discuss this inside. Katana is preparing a meal. She'll be happy to see you returned. Chief, there are intruders at the sanctuary. How dare someone trespass in such a place? We must stop them at once. My men and I will go. Let's move out. That's pretty cool. You know, there's the auto-moving camera. The emblem upon these men's uniforms look familiar. Could this be? Those explosions, they came from the village. Oh no. Men attacked the village as soon as you left. We didn't know what was happening until it was too late. While I was defending myself, I saw some of them enter the house and they took Katana. What? No! Men, get your supplies. We're going after him. Joseph and his men took what supplies they had and went after them, but it was too late. The men that assaulted the village and the mutant chief's daughter were gone.
Mission accomplished.
It's a pretty cool little cutscene. Like, it's a nice way of establishing the start of each chapter, and I guess like for future ones as well, it'll be a good recap on what happened. That's pretty cool. So let's check out Nod Mission 1. The year is 2047. The GDI defeated the Brotherhood of Nod, and for decades the world has been at peace, or so some say. Many areas of the world have become third world countries, while others thrive in luxury under United Nations rule. Mission 1 from the ashes. Welcome, my brother. Though our forces in the First Tiberian War was destroyed at the Battle of the Sarajevo, we assure you the spirit of the Brotherhood lives on. Many turbulent countries reject the UN dictatorship, and because of this, they have become homes of the indigent. We will recruit these forsaken souls to join us, then we will usher in a new age of peace ruled by the Brotherhood of Nod. Objective, gather recruits from the local towns and villages. It's pretty cool.
Establishing battlefield control. Stand by. Reinforcements have arrived.
The time of our emergence has come, my brother.
New construction options. Reinforcements have arrived.
Recruit for the Brotherhood and let our cause grow in the name of Cain. Cool.
Building.
Need to give us a bunch of these initiates, right? Yeah.
Construction
Fusion
complete.
plant.
New construction options.
I think it's a nice. They do a nice little bit of world establishment with this stuff. Like between like the opening cinematic and this, like you're pretty much like straight in there, which is nice. Like giving you access to the Conyard on mission 1 is always a nice novelty.
Unit lost.
Yeah, Har's gonna hunt the Tib, which is here.
Construction complete.
What's this? GDI, Fight for Liberty, some cool assets. Of course, Nod, we're gonna take that down.
Construction options. Training. Unit ready.
As it's mission 1, I don't expect it to be overly difficult, but we'll see. Nice to see the old legacy structures being used, of course. It's one of the nice things about Tib Sun, that they included all these original models from TD, more or less.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
Gun sounds are pretty nice too. Nice little Westwood sign. Say Westwood Studios, our games rock. Hell yeah. Still got a couple of Dragoons on board.
Training.
I'm gonna step away from the explosive barrels.
Unit lost.
So I have to force fire those barrels, interesting. So you don't accidentally click them, I guess. What do we got here?
Reinforcements have arrived.
Oh, nice. So we got a UN Defender, so that's a whole new unit. And then of course we got the Grenadier, or UN Soldier. Oh, interesting. So they kind of have the UN set up as like the whole GDI process, like tying it in a real world, like similar lore. Hey, good boys. Alright, it's pretty cool. Just got more guys. We got a couple of buggies here, looks like. Raiders.
Training. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
And just spam units. I have no idea what is going to be ahead of us here, but it shouldn't be too bad. Terrorists, kill them all? Hell no. We're the good guys. We're definitely the good guys, right?
Unit lost.
Initiate death to our oppressors. Yeah, that's what the good guys say.
Unit ready.
Oh, I see there's a cargo truck here. Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
Training.
So yeah, very straightforward, standard first mission.
Unit ready.
Get all your dudes.
Unit ready.
Initiate for the Brotherhood again, so they're coming up from their slumber, so to speak, after the first war. Keep this guy getting to.
Unit lost.
Nice. Alright, what do we got here? This looks like it's going to be way more fortified. Brotherhood of the Nod Scum, you will not take us alive. Wasn't planning to, buddy.
Unit lost.
For the Brotherhood! Time has come to destroy the first world nations. Peace through power.
Mission accomplished.
Nice. That's a nice, like, light-hearted first mission. Like the gameplay mechanics not too hard. Just getting used to building or re-recruiting for Nod. We'll try one Nod mission, one GDI mission. This is the first one, so Nod soldiers are relentlessly assaulting outposts through Europe. Defend yourselves against enemy incursions. Mission 2, Incursion. After years of silence, the Brotherhood has returned with a vengeance. Soldiers are assaulting our fortifications all over Europe. You are ordered to defend one of our outposts as long as possible until it can receive reinforcements. Once reinforcements have arrived, eliminate all remaining Nod forces. Objective, survive until reinforcements can arrive. Objective, eliminate all remaining Nod forces.
Establishing
Oh wow, okay, so they give us a whole bunch of tech already.
base under attack. Unit lost.
Not attacking again, we need reinforcements, they're coming at us from every direction. Objective, defend your position until reinforcements can arrive. Okay, war factory please. So we got the Badger here, Vulcan turrets, so just hold out and survive, right? That's the objective.
Construction complete. New construction
Repair the power, repair that. I guess Grenadiers are probably a good shot.
Unit ready.
Maybe a harvester? Get a second harvester on the go. So we have 2 hards then.
Unit ready.
So we just need to survive, right? That's the main initial objective. Nice. Yeah, they're looking alright. I guess the whole lot will have that second harvester, so that my eco can properly get set up. I sure do hope the reinforcements they're going to send is pretty good. Otherwise, this could be a very short mission. Nice. Hey, halfway, okay. Halfway and I'm pretty broke. Harvester might not have been the way to go. 1400. Yeah. Again, timer on the top right. Useful to keep an eye on it. Okay, okay. Still alive. I do like the smoke effect from the power plants, pretty cool. And you can hear little sound bites when you click on structures. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Oh no. Hold the line, boys. 10 seconds. Yes, send the Titans. Okay, eliminate all Nod remaining forces. I mean, I'm grateful for the 3 Titans, but I was expecting a little bit more, guys. I'm not gonna lie. With a bit of luck, their remaining forces won't be much. I mean, I can send this ahead and have a look, right? So they got like a little sensor array fortifications. Yeah. Okay. If it's just destroy 3 sensor arrays like this, I think we're alright. Cool to see the old sensor array model in here. We saw the more updated one in the skirmishes earlier.
Hit it. Going my way.
Silos
Hit it.
needed.
What?
Training.
Which means silos needed.
Unit ready.
Okay, I guess I got them all here.
They're not ready for us. We're on it.
Sir, moving out. Loud and
Call for some blasting.
ZD's forces.
Unit lost.
Fools, your efforts are in vain. Soon you'll regret ever opposing the Brotherhood of Nod. Okay, so they have a little base here.
sir, moving out.
They're not ready for us. What do you say? You bet.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit
They're
lost.
not.
Unit lost.
What do you say?
Unit
Heading
lost.
over.
Okay. Oh wow, they all died, really?
What? Hot what? Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Hit it.
Alright.
Call for some blasting.
Training. Unit ready.
They're not ready for us.
Unit ready.
Do 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 do.
Sir, you got it.
Send these across. You can see the sensor right there.
Unit
Damn,
lost.
these titans are useless against those dragoons.
Infantry reporting on it. Loud and
Okay, so that's the sensor right down.
loud and
Unit lost.
What do you say?
Here, don't die to this single guy in the bush.
Let's get it. Heading over.
He's gonna die. The dragoons killed all of those titans. You kidding me?
loud and
Wow. Okay.
Training.
loud and
Sure.
Unit ready.
loud and clear.
Sure. Why not?
Loud and clear. Loud and you got it. Moving out. You got it. Loud
It feels a bit silly, but yeah.
and moving out. Got it. Loud and clear.
Balance is balance.
Sir. Moving out.
Need a ride?
Loud and
It's
clear.
gonna be annoying because I feel these lasers need the titans to be destroyed.
Loud and clear.
Maybe we'll be alright.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit lost.
Ah, yeah, no, we're fine. Okay.
You got it.
That case, we're fine.
Training. Building.
Woo.
Ready. Unit lost.
Waiting loud and clear. Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Unit lost.
Loud and yes, sir. Infantry
lost.
on it.
Training.
Waiting on.
I should just set the rally points of these to here. And of the war factory. Here.
Infantry reporting.
Come
I'm on it.
in. Take out their eco.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Do you like the sound effects they've added? You can hear the little grenades being thrown. It's kind of cool.
You got it. Waiting order. Got it. I'm on it. Yes, sir. Wait. Good ass job. I'm on it. Medic! You got it. I'm on it. Awaiting orders. You got it. Moving out. Good ass job.
And get the harvester.
Mission accomplished.
GG's. That's pretty cool. Those are fun little missions. They weren't too long. I suspect as the chapters go on, they'll get a little bit more difficult. But yeah, so we checked out a whole bunch of stuff here. We had a look at the skirmishes from GDI's perspective, from Nod's perspective. We had a look at their new naval units. They seem pretty cool. We checked out the first mission for both campaigns, and we also had a look at the opening cinematic for Chapter 1. So I think that's going to be a good point to wrap it up. Thanks everyone for checking this out. Again, as I mentioned before, if you're interested in this, you can go to the ModDB page, which I'll be sure to link down in the description below. The Second Tiberium War, and all you have to do is go to the file section, hit download now, and you'll be able to get up and running with it. If you have any questions or concerns, again, you can feel free to drop them down in the comments. I'll leave links to any of the relevant social media channels for this mod there. But yeah, thanks for hanging out and checking out this cool mod with me. I do plan, I think, to do a separate playthrough where I'll create a playlist and basically run through each of the individual missions that are here, so keep an eye out for that if you are interested. But for now, peace out guys, take it easy, and thanks for joining.